Welcome back to another episode of What's New in Beauty. My name is Nia Lee, and I'm super excited to have you guys here. If it's your first time tuning in, this is essentially the podcast where I love to talk about all new and exciting things happening in the beauty industry, and of course, give my 2 cents on it. So without further ado, let's jump right in to a Black-owned, particularly a Black women-owned hair care brand making history. And this is all about the Doux officially debuting in CosmoProf, making history as the first ever textured hair care brand in stores created by a seasoned textured hair stylist. Now, the Doux co-founder and CEO and also licensed cosmetologist Maya Smith stated in an Instagram post announcement this: Doux Gang Pro, this one's for you. The Doux has officially expanded into the professional sector. Our products are now available on the shelves at CosmoProf Beauty with exclusive professional pricing for beauty professionals, empowering licensed cosmetologists with textured focused solutions to reduce styling time has been one of our goals since day one. And they essentially said, I developed the Doux for myself as a stylist to solve stylist problems, saving time, simplifying routines, and prioritizing clients' hair health in and outside salon visits. So shout out to the Doux for getting into this lane. If you guys were tuning into one of my 2 previous podcast episodes, I made the announcement that Pattern Beauty is getting into the professional setting, and then also the news, Briogeo getting into the professional setting. So what I love to see are particularly Black women-owned brands in the professional beauty hair care sector. But what I also love is it's these brands that kind of have, a D2C vibe. Like they've honestly like gone from the ground up, whether it was a celebrity or whether it was just a notable hairstylist creating their own brand and, trying the D2C things, getting into retailers and saying, we actually want to just like get into the professional salons, because the relationship between a stylist and a client is actually like, it's, word is bond there, right? How many times you go to the hairstylist and everything that the hairstylist says to either use or was used in your hair, 9 times out of 10, you're going to actually probably buy the products as well too. So I love to see this for the Doux. And considering the co-founder is also a licensed cosmetologist, and this was kind of her, the Doux was birthed based off of the fact of, not having these solutions in the professional setting. It's just, it's giving full circle. Like it's giving all the way full circle. Now, according to PR Newswire, the Doux will continue its commitment to revolutionizing textured hair care and addressing the need for professional products created for textured hair that also reduce styling time, and as well as beauty professionals can now access these science-backed formulas at exclusive professional pricing through CosmoProf. Now, recognizing that maintaining hair between salon visits is crucial for healthy hair, stylists can now confidently recommend the Doux salon-grade products to their clients, which are also conveniently available, of course, at their favorite retailer stores, which again makes it even greater because, again, if you're not able to get to, your salon, or you've got to drive all the way out, or some of these girls are out here taking plane visits and going to see their salon because they ain't letting anybody touch their hair. The best part of that is that, again, you can get those same products at an Ulta or even a Target as well too. So it's giving synergy. It's giving, this was all meant to be, this was all aligned. So I love to see that. And Maya Smith, who actually brings over 25 years of expertise to the brand's professional endeavors, is essentially stated that she developed Doux herself as a stylist, again, to solve stylist problems on saving time. And with a full product line that's easy to use and provides outstanding results, this partnership with CosmoProf is meant to empower hairstylists to elevate their artistry on textured hair clients, no matter their experience level. And the Doux has exciting plans to further amplify the professional hair care experience, especially in Q4. The iconic Mousse Def texture foam and the beloved Crazy Sexy Curl Honey Settling Foam will be available in convenient liter sizes, catering to the demands of salon professionals and their clientele. Now, I just love this. Congrats to the Doux for getting on their Zoom. And I'm sure this was, months and probably years of in development to ensure this happened the right way. When I actually found out about this news, because I was on their Instagram and I saw the video, saw, Maya going into CosmoProf and seeing the products there. And again, when you go to a salon, let's just say, or you go to this huge professional retailer or something like that, it's very rare that you see anything that really makes you want to stop you in your place or make you interested to see what's going on. Because again, a lot of these household names, professional hair care brands are very boring. Like, I will say that, like, I think that's why we're definitely seeing like Pattern get into the mix now. And now we have the Doux, because they're just, some things need to be shaken up. Things need a little extra seasoning. Like when you go to those salons or you go to even like a CosmoProf, you're just so used to seeing the same thing over and over again, whether it's the same purple color, red color, however you want to call it, silver as well too. I mean, they do silver down, but like you see the bottles and you're like, damn, another silver bottle. But at the end of the day, you know, hair care is hair care, right? Everybody uses what works for them at the end of the day. But what I love is the Doux is a brand that immediately when you see it, you know exactly who they are. And I just am really excited for everybody to see their brand in a CosmoProf and say, wow, like what is this exciting, cool brand as well too. And particularly that it speaks again to textured hair care, which has honestly been on a run. Like every 2 seconds, I am either talking about it or seeing a textured hair care brand killing it in the beauty space. So congrats to the Doux, congrats to Maya, and of course the team over there for just expanding into this space as well too. Like I think it's so commendable when I see Black women-owned brands particularly, you know, say, you know, we're not going to follow the same blueprint of just, you know, launching on our site and maybe launching to 1 or 2 retailers. Like, no, we want to really change the industry because again, when it comes to even learning about hair care or even let's just say makeup, like the industry and these institutions are they can be very stale. But again, they've got to be because they're there to kind of teach you the basics, or they're there to kind of teach you, you know, what's been taught for years and years and years. But so many people are embracing their hair, and, you know, curly hair has definitely taken over. I mean, you know, I rarely ever really hear anybody really talk about, you know, having like bone straight hair all the time or so on and so forth. And again, you know, the girlies are still doing their straight hair, but people love volume. People are embracing their curls more and more, which is why you're seeing brands like Briogeo, like Pattern, and like the Doux really killing it. Even you can throw Maelle in there, Bread Beauty, like all of these brands that are really at the forefront and have their pulse on what is going on in the industry and saying like, hey, like we are not doing things the same anymore. Like, especially when it comes to textured hair care, that industry, it's hard to kind of innovate because you kind of want to get the basics down and you kind of want to make sure that, you know, everybody, you know, has everything that they need to, whether it's tame your curls, make them look, you know, shinier, fresher, bouncier. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, we're doing that and that's great. We've been able to build this really successful presence, but how do we reach more? How do we really get into the salons? Because that's really what it is. Like so many people who are now finding these brands and finding these solutions had to deal with either going to the salon or using the wrong products for so long and not really feeling confident enough to be able to you know, wear their hair the way that they want to in its natural state and have it still be healthy and so on and so forth. So again, you can just tell that this move is one that's in the right direction. And I'm really, really excited to see what they do on the pro level as well too, and really speaking to those individuals and, you know, having a presence there as well. So once again, congrats to the Doux for getting into the professional salon space, particularly where CosmoProf is, you know, at the center of that as well too. And you can just, again, tell it was an intentional partnership from the jump. So again, shout out to them. Now, again, I talked about innovation and I'm really just excited when brands come out with innovative shit. Like that's really just where I'm at this point. Like everybody's launching something. Everybody's either launching a foundation stick or another oil or this or that. But when I saw this, once again, I stopped in my tracks and I spoke about them a few episodes ago as well too, because once again, they're very much making history with this product. And it's all about Fur Beauty, set to launch a ingrown deodorant. So if you didn't know, Fur is essentially a brand that caters to people, you know, whether it's, you know, people who do waxing or any type of intimate beauty removing of the hair, if you might be. But their whole thing is all about, you know, ingrowns and ensuring that when you are getting waxed or shaved or so on and so forth, not you getting shaved, but you shaving yourself, I should say. When you're either shaving or doing any sort of grooming on the intimate area, your underarms or anything like that, you know, ingrowns is a huge problem. It's a problem that nobody ever wants to talk about and nobody really seems to have a solution for it. So what I love about Fur Beauty is that they've understood that like ingrowns are a bitch. And like we need to create products to help with these things because like truthfully, there's really no way to kind of get rid of them, especially if you are shaving or you are waxing or, sugaring or anything in relation to that. So they've launched this ingrown deodorant that is derm and gyno tested. The formula is derm and gyno tested with a fresh new way to care for underarm skin. It's utilizing clean and proven ingredients to neutralize sweat, target ingrowns, and brighten discoloration. Whether your underarms are bare, bushy, or somewhere in between, it glides over hair and skin without a trace. All that's left is this fresh green scent reminiscent of the earth and the rainfall. And some of the key ingredients that, kind of speak to this claim are, of course, willow bark extract, which we all know, if you didn't know, is a natural form of salicylic acid that penetrates deep into the underarm hair follicles and preventing any ingrown hairs, and of course treating those as well too. There's also radish root ferment, which is a new ingredient I haven't heard before, but again, we're speaking to the innovation here as well too, which is a probiotic derived from fermented radish root that protects the skin against odor causing bacteria. And of course, niacinamide in there as well too, which is a skin brightening agent used to help fade any underarm discoloration and strengthen the skin's natural barrier, which essentially leaves for a more even skin tone. So right now you can sign up on their wait list to be the first to shop it when it actually launches this Thursday, August 31st. And something that was also really mentioned as well too, of course, in their community comment section, where your girl always is. We always got to take it to the comments. The ingrown deodorant is not formulated with any aluminum, baking soda, or alcohols as well too. And it'll also be available for wholesale for fur professional stores, salons, anything in relation to that carry fur products in, their establishments, which I think is really dope and cool. And something about this, again, we're on a professional kick, right? And I love when brands do this. I love when brands have like some sort of a professional arm, because it shows that we're not just interested in, everybody using our products. Like, we want pros, we want professionals, we want experts using our products and essentially kind of being our brand ambassadors while we're not physically there. Because it's hard as a brand. It is hard to be any and everywhere. And unless you're typically backed by a celebrity or you've got some sort of clout, it's hard for your brand to really have that withstanding. And then also too, when you think about a professional setting of beauty, like, people are always going to need to get their stuff done professionally, right? Whether it is going to get a wax, getting their nails done, getting their hair done, getting any sort of treatment. The goal is to go to some sort of professional. So I love when brands just have a professional arm altogether. It just shows that they're trying to cover multiple bases. But this ingrown deodorant, it sounds like it's going to be awesome. Like, honestly, I'm probably going to get it. Because speaking transparently, dealing with underarm stuff for me has always, as I've gotten older, has started to be something that I've become super aware about, whether it's like odor or the fact that I shave and it hurts under there. And even discoloration as well too is something that I can be a little bit self-conscious about. But this sounds really dope. And like, also the ingredient, like the radish root ferment, like I read an article that, you're going to see a lot more brands using innovative ingredients. And we're so tired of all the brands using the same ingredients over and over again, whether, they're launching a new product and everyone's got to use either bakuchiol, or at one point it was niacinamide. At one point it was vitamin C as well too. I'm so happy that vitamin C is not a focus here as well. It might be in there, but it's not a key ingredient. So truthfully, I just love to see innovation in beauty. And this to me is a very innovative product, because I even searched ingrown deodorants. Nothing really came up outside of this and outside of Topical's High Roller, which isn't a deodorant, but it does help with ingrowns and it does work. I will say that. So I'll be really, really excited to see how this fur beauty or this fur ingrown deodorant really gets it done. I'll be excited to see befores and afters as well too, because fur is really good at posting before and afters. And just the excitement around it has everyone just like, in a tizzy, because who's coming out with products like this? Like, who is coming out with ingrown deodorants? Like, truthfully, like, it's very rare that you see that. But like I said, Fur has realized that is typically, like, when they came out with their microdart as well too, which was the first ever of its kind, an actual patch to deal with ingrowns. Everyone was like, this is so cool and innovative. We've never seen this. I mean, we've seen pimple patches and we've seen, body patches here and there or whatever, but we haven't really seen an ingrown specific micro dart. So to me, this is right on that, the heels of innovation and focusing on ingrowns, which again is Fur's whole shtick. But to me, I just think once again, we're just seeing more innovative beauty products. And if you didn't know, now you know that Fur is kind of that brand that isn't really interested in going with the status quo, what other beauty brands are doing. They always come out with cool and innovative products, which I'm just floored by and very interested about this as well too. Because I'm also a deodorant snob. I've realized I can be. Like I've gone through different antiperspirants and different, deodorants and certain things like that. And if you're dealing with odor like me, then, you got to go through a couple, but I don't want to deal with aluminum or anything like that could, affect me in some way, shape, or form down the road. So this might be a winner for me, but I'll keep you guys posted if I do end up trying it out, of course. Now, last but not least, just finishing off with some Black excellence, of course. We the People launches officially in Sephora, y'all, which is really, really exciting because I've had my eye on We the People for a minute now, and I think I might have saw this news on Instagram initially, but then I actually found out about it on LinkedIn, actually heard about it, I think, because of, again, comments and whatnot, ended up seeing the founder post something about it, which was really dope. So shout out to Karen Young. But We the People is essentially this Black women-owned body care brand that, has really been taking over. I mean, they were part of the 2023 Sephora Accelerate Brand Incubator Program with a cohort of 7 BIPOC brand founders spanning fragrance, makeup, and skincare. Shout out to Doux, because I also know they were part of that as well too. And this is actually the 8th year that Sephora has actually done their Accelerate program, which essentially features a 360-degree 6-month curriculum with mentorship, merchandising, support, grants, investor connections, of course, with the opportunity to launch in Sephora North America upon completion, which is really exciting and dope. So essentially, We the People has now debuted in Sephora. They are available online. They're going to be available in store on September 15th. So I'll be excited to see how that whole rollout goes in 260 locations nationwide, in app, and of course online. Now, We the People's core product lineup includes 7 products, but it includes some of their, again, most iconic products. Their weighted, non-irritating razor for sensitive skin, their new featherweight hydrating body gloss oil in Orange Blossom, which I'm really excited to try because I love the smell of Orange Blossom, and the all-in-all melting body balm, again, are available to shop and have already toted a bunch of reviews as well too, which is really exciting to see. Now, once again, Karen Young stated in Essence Girls United that it's incredible to partner with Sephora to bring elevated body care to more people. We're not only moving the narrative forward on what to expect from body care products, but also who gets to be seen as worthy of thoughtful, inclusive care. And I really, really resonate with that statement because once again, when it comes to things like body care and self-care and whatnot, Black women, even just Black people, get left out of that conversation, and we don't really get to be soft and delicate and really take care of ourselves, right? We've always got that running joke, that we can't be ashy or anything in relation to that, but you don't really see it in this kind of beautiful, elevated kind of way that just makes sense. And immediately when you go to We the People's website, even when you go to their social, once again, they feel like a brand that gets it. They feel like a brand that everything they make comes down to intentionality, and we're actually going to make products that are actually going to last because we actually know that this is an issue that some of y'all be having, whether it's, dealing with, the skin not looking the way it's supposed to, or again, dealing with razors and not getting the type of results that you want. So the fact that they've intentionally created products for sensitive skin that speak to body care as well too, and this narrative around body care products, once again, it screams innovation to me, but in a way that doesn't feel fake, in a way that feels like, yeah, we're creating products, again, not with this idea that we need to come out with something every other month or every 3 months to, coincide with the trends that's going on. They are really about taking their time with products as well too. And then again, creating products that, again, people actually want and need. So once again, shout out to them for that. But something that was really, really important that I wanted to speak on that was also in this Essence Girls United article, which is about We the People developing with the help of VC funding. And Karen actually shared the importance of grants being available for POC businesses by giving a much needed financial breakdown. Particularly founders of color receive less than 2% of venture funding. Black female founders receive less than 1% at 0.38%. And funding overall for POC has plummeted 45% since 2022. So what does that tell you? Everybody and their mama saying that they were going to get on their Zoom and really, lean into diverse brands and Black-owned brands and BIPOC-owned brands, retracted those statements as quickly as 2020 left. Like that means y'all it's like the brands that all of a sudden decided that they found a Black model in their photo library on their Microsoft Office Drive and said, oh snap, we need to post this now because we don't want people to think we don't give a shit about, people of color. And to me, this statement and this financial breakdown makes complete sense because a lot of brands were trying to cover their asses. And as soon as everything kind of, the news faded out and so on and so forth, so did a lot of brands' promises and also the results of that as well too. And a lot of these brands, I will say, have been good on it, like a Sephora, for example, that did sign the 15% pledge, like a Target, like an Ulta, but still a lot of, again, VC funding and even what's been going on with Fearless Fund as well, too. If you guys didn't know, there's been a huge suit against them as well about particularly giving funding to, POC or Black women founders and that being an issue because, just all of this stuff to me, it just really is upsetting and it kind of grinds my gears a little bit. And I also feel like it's a bit of a distraction, but I digress. But this conversation about funding and it plummeting does not surprise me whatsoever. So Karen actually stated, if anyone lacks the emotional capacity to process how important it is to have institutional funds dedicated to businesses founded by POC, let's lean into the math instead. It reflects a lack of access, a lack of understanding the categories we'd be building for, and let's be frank, it's a glaring example of a country holding tight to who deserves access to capital. It is absolutely necessary for funds like Fearless Fund to exist when a country's demographics are changing, but its archaic systems are holding on for dear life. And preach, because that's exactly what's going on here. Like, it feels like at the end of the day, and not even necessarily feels like, this is what it is. These systems, truthfully, are not interested in changing. They're just not. But here's also the thing. Here are very successful Black women saying, okay, we get it. The system does not want to cater to us. So let's create something for us. And then still, once again, have a roadblock put up in front of us to say, no, you can't do that still. And that is what's incredibly frustrating, truthfully, at the end of the day. So I commend Karen for being as honest as she is right here. But then also, I commend retailers like a Sephora, for example, that weren't one of the brands and retailers that just kind of, sideswiped as soon as, it was time to, retract. Because I'm pretty sure Sephora looked at what was going on and said, listen, if we don't do this, we'd be losing out on a lot of people that really, actually love shopping here. And as we all know, particularly Black people, but even probably more Black women, we be buying things. We're always in Sephora. We got to get our hair done. We need our makeup done. We need this done, and so on and so forth. So I'm pretty sure they understood that we can't, we have to be serious. We have to understand that we need to, cater, and not even necessarily cater, but we need to have a category of our company cater to these brands and actually have these brands here so that, we're not, and again, it's not doing anybody's favors. It's saying like, these are really incredible brands that are doing things differently. Like, there are not too many brands that launch in Sephora outside some of the celebrity ones that are really getting it done. The Black-owned brands in Sephora right now, the Danessa Myricks, the Fenty Beauties, the Adwoa Beauty, Topicals, Ami Collet, like all of those brands that are Black women owned or Black women founded or BIPOC owned or so on, even Kulfi, like even Live Tinted, like all of these brands are doing really incredible, innovative stuff. And they're actually kind of shaking up a little bit of the industry in a way that means that we're not just going to launch products for the sake of, like everything that we launch is going to make sense. And a lot of these founders and a lot of these individuals that are, even the teams, like they're very very vocal about these things as well. So I think it's to the betterment of these companies and these organizations and even these VC firms to fully understand, like, listen, if you are, and not particularly Fearless Fund, but these other VC firms that don't believe in investing into Black-owned businesses and BIPOC-owned businesses, you're missing out. Like, that's really all I got to say at the end of the day. You're really kind of missing out, and not in a way that makes me feel any type of way, because I'm going to be supporting these brands regardless if they're at a big retailer or not. I will take my behind and go on their website, type it in .com, buy everything that I need and support them and tell people about it, because hey, if not me, then who, right? And a lot of people love these brands already, and that's what I love to see as well too. Like, I loved it when Ami Coley was launching into Sephora and everybody was like ready for it. Everyone was taking photos, everyone was reposting, because that's also really important as well too. And I hope y'all be doing that for We the People as well too, because why do I keep saying we to the people? It's the wrong thing. We the people. I hope y'all do that for We the People as well too, because that's an integral part of them being successful in Sephora as well too. When you see brands launching into big retailers, you notice there's a whole rollout campaign. There's even a campaign after the campaign. There might even be numerous of campaigns coming up as well too, because it is not enough just to get into retail, y'all. You got to stay there, and products need to be flying off the shelves. Products need to be flying off the shelves, and you need to stay there. Very interchangeable. So I would say 90% it's the staying in and having your products fly off the shelves, and 10% just getting in. Like, that's really the kind of focus there, right? So I hope y'all get on your Zoom and support We the People, and I will be doing that as well too. I know they're on Sephora.com, so I'm going to have to figure out the Canada conversion situation and shipping and all that, but I am all for these brands staying in Sephora and having a huge, gondolas display as well too. Like, to me, these brands are innovative, and also not even just to me, to so many of their communities, so many of these individuals who never even heard about these brands before, but see these products and are like, wow, I didn't even know a product like this could even exist. Something like that is really exciting for people to see. And what I love now more than anything, particularly the younger generation, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, they want diversity and they love to see it, and they will say it. They'll say, wow, I will be inclined to support this brand because we see diversity, because, you guys are creating products that are innovative, because we, don't see these things often, or the brands that are supposed to be the quote unquote OGs have not innovated and have not done anything different. It's the same models. It's the same iteration of the same product, and if someone's got to launch a lip gloss one more time, I'm going to lose it. Like, a big, huge, notable brand. Like, you're going to launch a lip gloss right now. Like, I get it. Everyone's doing lip gloss, but it's got to be something else. Like, you've got to come up with something else. That's just me. I'm a hater. I love gloss, but it's just, Lord. But all I have to say to that is I appreciate the honesty. And once again, I appreciate We the People for, just sticking to their guns, and then also saying, yeah, we're not just going to create products just for the sake of, like, we want to change the landscape of this body care industry, and particularly where people of color are involved as well too. Because once again, like, when we have these conversations about self-care, and when we have these conversations about taking care of yourself, like, that's a hard concept for a lot of Black people to come to terms with, because all we know is having to, be in the background, not take care of ourselves. We got to work. We got to do this. And again, we're fighting against these archaic systems more and more and more each day. So when I see, brands like this launch Sephora, it makes me really, really happy. It makes me really, really happy and excited, because that just means I'm just going to keep supporting these brands. And once again, like, I'm excited to support these brands, whether they get to a bigger retailer or not. But them being in a Sephora means more access and more visibility for them, which is truthfully what most brands want at the end of the day. Because it's not just enough for your friends and family or for a few thousand people to love your products. Like, when you create a brand, and particularly when you're creating something like this that feels more like a movement, you want a lot of people to be a part of it, and not just only Black and brown people or BIPOC people as well. Like, there's this concept of, oh, only Black people are supposed to buy from Black-owned brands, or we're only supposed to buy from these brands in February. It's like, nah, y'all can support Black-owned brands all 365 days, because y'all be talking about these brands not innovating or not launching something that you don't want, but yet there's so many brands that are doing really dope stuff like We the People. So check them out, tap in, and thank me later. But once again, congrats to We the People for launching Sephora. Cannot wait for y'all to come to Sephora Canada, of course. And with all that being said, y'all, that's the end of today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said in the previous episode, please leave me a rating on Spotify or Apple. I don't know if there's ratings on Apple, but if there is, leave me one on Spotify. I know for sure. And if you have any questions or comments about this episode, you can also leave me that in Spotify as well. But without further ado, y'all, I will catch y'all in the next episode.